Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I'm Catherine. And guess what? Creative Memories had a surprise for us this month, and they put out 3 Earth Day bonus sketches that are happening, that people are posting in the Creative Memories virtual crop group over on Facebook. And I love to live stream all of these sketches that I do before I post them, just to help give you all some ideas of some different interpretations that you can make with these sketches. So I'm going to go ahead and get things switched over so I can show you what I'm going to do for sketch number 1. I'm going to be working with the Painted Garden collection for this sketch. I just had a lot of random big and little scraps. And when I saw this first sketch, I thought, I can work with this. I can definitely do something with it. I always hold up my sketch in case you want to get a screenshot of my measurements for at least my mats, because the rest of this layout is kind of just what you have on hand to make use of. So I've already started to place down some of my scraps. I'm using black cardstock as my base. And I had some bigger strips. I had some littler strips. You can see most of the pieces in our sketch are really small. Like it almost looks like, a ½ inch by an inch or two, a 2-inch square. And it just is completely random. So I thought, well, why don't I see what I have in this collection already cut and work with what I have in a random pattern as well, because you don't have to do a whole lot of extra cutting when you're using up your scraps. And I think this is going to turn out to be a fun layout overall. I have stuck down the larger pieces here. I did layer 2 pieces here. This was a wider one. And then I just stick down my lower one here as well. And I'm just layering different papers, different textures, different colors together. I don't usually layer this much paper, but I think it's going to work. And I liked using the black background, because I think it gives it a almost stained glass effect, I guess, if you will. It really helps pop all the colors in our layout. And I think it just works. So I've got another little tiny hummingbird strip here. Let's get this over just a hair so I'm not off camera. And use my repositionable tape on it. And you can see where kind of different sizes going down the page, different sizes going across and up. Different colors, this one had both a designer and a tonal paper pack. So I'm worked with both here. And some of it you do want to kind of offset. You don't want your lines to match up exactly. Okay, that one's stuck down. This one's not. To figure out what I've already placed down this time. It's a little bit different for me. And let's see, I think that larger one's down as well. But I just thought you all didn't need to or want to probably watch me put down so many different strips of paper. But with this, at least it gives you the impression of where things are going and how I'm kind of just randomly lining some of these up. These two I did put on they're going to be more linear, because we have another sketch that's a little bit less linear. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and line these up. I mean, they're still going to get covered by part of a mat as well, because I do have some mats, and I'm going to talk to you about that. That's what I written on my sketch page. All right. So for the left side of our page, I have a 4¼ by 5½ piece. Sound familiar? Probably. That's the size of our cards. So it has the kind of linen look to the front of it. That's going to go down here. I have a 4¼ by 4¼ So usually I don't use these smaller ones, but again, I just thought with this layout, it just seemed like it would work to have a couple smaller and a couple larger ones. So let's see how it goes for me. And then I had a whole sheet of the pink, so I went ahead and did the 4¼ by 6¼ mats. And this is going to go here, and this one's going to go up here. Yeah. Let's see here, because I want to be able to see some. Well, I guess I might be covering up one of my strips that I thought wasn't going to be covered. I think I need to move this one over a little bit. There's the beauty of using the repositionable tape, is you can easily just kind of quickly move things over as you want. There we go. And then you can still see it coming out from both sides of our mat, the stripes and the green there. All right, let me get things stuck down, and then I do have a couple of stickers and embellishments as well that are going to go on this page. I just love how this all seemed to work out and flow. And whatever colors are in our photos are definitely going to stand out on this layout for sure, because they'll probably be a little bit more solid than what you see on the back part of our page. What you kind of want to see a little bit of everything, I guess. Okay, so I have a cornflower, and I have a hummingbird and a feeder, and I was going to try to fit in the middle here. This actually is going to need to get popped up. I think I put my mats closer together. I'm actually going to move this one down just a little, because I think I had it. Yep, I must have had it down here in my. So this little one needs to scoot over too. Okay, well, that's also the beauty of the repositionable tape here. We'll just stick this one down and out over here. And so that way you can run over this a little bit. You can still see the other. But that way I can also fit in my hummingbird and my feeder. I will pop them up, but I just want to also have them on the page as well. I'm going to put this cornflower down here and a couple of ladybugs as well. That were in our sticker sheets. And okay, foam squares are here somewhere. So I want to avoid this corner and kind of over here. So I need over here and here. Okay. So over here and up here a little bit. And to this right side, I think is where, let me double check that and make sure I got my spacing well. Yep. All right. That's going to go ahead and get placed down. And then our hummingbird itself, more in the body and the lower part of the wing. Let's use a larger foam square here, just through the middle. And I think I'm going to cut one of these smaller ones again to get the head and the tail a little bit. Go. Getting the backs off of my foam squares, and here we go. All right. Making sure I'm getting underneath where my photo is going to be, so that way I can just put my photo no problem onto my page. I have this sticker that was part of a circular one that had all these little cutouts on it. I think we're just going to add a few to our hummingbird wings back here. It's kind of like using one of your pens and adding those little dots for motion. I just thought, let's use these little petals and accentuate our bird that way. And I have a couple more hummingbirds for the right side of the page as well. Here's the left side of our page. Oops, I'm losing one of my pieces from the right side here. Okay. Left side of my page is done. This is also one of the things I usually do is I like to make 2-page layouts, even though the sketch is for a single page, because we tend to use more 2-page layouts in our books than singles. So, all right, let me see here what I need to place down first. I think on this right side, it is kind of like redoing a puzzle a little bit. But like I said, I think with this one, I think it's worth it. It's random scraps, really. I don't know how I managed to create so many of these. It just is. And then we'll see if I need to maneuver any of these later once we get our mats on as well, kind of like we did on the left side of our page a bit. Okay, that's down, that's down. This one's not down, but this was going to be over a bit. So that means I have to place this other one down first. And then that square. Okay. So this is exactly why I didn't take it all apart like I usually do when I do the regular videos and my sketchbook challenge and my sketch with me series ones. It's I can usually put them back together the way I envision, but with this one it's definitely a little bit more pieces, more complex, I guess, if you will, more placements of all kinds of pieces. Okay, this can go up here. I don't know which tape runner I'm going for anymore. All right, larger piece, regular tape runner, smaller piece. We don't need the repositionable for. And okay. Here we go. And again, like I said, this sketch just seems perfect for using up any random scraps you have. Get out a piece of black cardstock and see what you can put together. If you have a collection that you look at and all of a sudden you're going, how do I have so many random pieces from this collection, like Catherine did from her painted garden? It just happens, I guess, depending on what you're working on with it. And if you've used it a lot, you might have a lot of random scraps. Anybody remember where I think that was there. Okay. It's going to be what it's going to be, pretty much. And like I said, if I need to move it again, I will once I get the mats going. But I think that's everything. Let's hope. Okay. Yes, I got it all. Okay. If you're not having fun while you're scrapbooking, you're doing something wrong. It's still, it's a little bit puzzly. It's a little bit, it's fun. Okay, for this side, I have another 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 out of the hummingbird paper. That's the same as the paper I used on the other side. And then I also have the other two 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats that I cut from the dark pink paper here. Let's see if we can leave our bumblebee up here. And then I had one mat left from my mat pack, believe it or not. I actually was down to my last mat. And this one has the yellow with the dandelion puffs on the front, and then it's a dark pink on the back side. So we're going to go ahead and place that one up here. And we can use it for a journal box or for a mat for a photo, depending on what our photos wind up being for this layout. We can also cut a piece of an index sheet for our 4 1/4 mats as well and turn those into a journal box if we want. So there's options. I always try to let you all know what the options are as I go along here. I'll give you extra ideas. Okay. This is nice to use up some of these scraps. The Creative Memories had this idea to do this, but I think they have done some in the past. I don't remember it being quite this much, but every year it's a little bit different. Okay, the orange, I don't know if we're going to be able to see so much, but I guess that's, here we go. Okay, if I move my mat up and over a little, you can see a little bit of the orange, but I like it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's that one, and this one is going to go here, I think. Yeah, getting framed by all of these different colors and textures. So I have a couple more hummingbirds I found in our embellishment pack that are going to be on this page. And then I also found a bird watching in our words with the stickers. And I think actually that's going to go here. Originally I was thinking it would land down here, but I think when I placed my mats, it wound up being a little bit, you know, like I said, some of it changes as I am live, and that's just the way it happens, and it's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind that things adjusted just a little bit. Let's go ahead and pop up these. We need to avoid the tail and the wing tips on this one. Let's see if I can get away with, I'll do one of these. And a small one up here. There we go. That should be good. And that way we can definitely get our photos underneath that one. This one, I don't think I have to worry too much about with any of it. It's definitely a larger hummingbird, so I'm gonna see if I can angle this in here and maybe get the head a little bit of extra support with a second small foam square. All right. There we go. Okay, and then we have a couple more of these little petals here I'm going to add around our hummingbirds again, just to accentuate the motion a bit. You know, if we're using up paper scraps, we might as well use up some sticker scraps as well, right? Let's maybe put that one there. And here. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with the white one, but you never know. Maybe it'll show up somewhere else. Who knows? The other thing we also have with this, our embellishment pack, are a ton of these rhinestone self-sticking enameled colors. And I'm going to move my border mat out of the way. Let me hold this one up so that way you all can see the close-up of this side of the page here with my larger mats and my hummingbirds. I'll show you this again. You can see they just had one 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 photo, and then two 3 1/4. And I thought, you know, that's really small and not very much. So we can get 4 photos on each side of our page and have it be the larger photos for sure. And then I want to add some of these because I have so many of them. You know, if you have them, you might as well use them. And since we have pretty much every color on this page, we might as well pull out a lot of these different colors. It looks like I've used, maybe I used a couple of the reds with something else. I'll just pull out this one. And we'll add a few around our page and add some extra color. This is going to be kind of random. I didn't plan these out per se. I just saw I had them and I thought, you know what, we probably should use some because what else are you going to do with them? Let's go with the green here. Oops, if I can get the green one off of here. There we go. Green with the pink and maybe the green up here and then maybe the pink with the other corners. I did the red and yellow, but I think I'm going to go green and pink here. These other corners. And then we'll add just a couple other random ones, I guess. Hopefully it's not too much. Just kind of placing these in between where our photos are going to be and just kind of looking through the page a bit. And like I said, you want to highlight the photos. You want to highlight where it seems like a natural eye movement, I guess, through the page as well. All right. Looks pretty good. I think I did the four corners and then a little bit throughout here. You can see it just adds just that little bit of extra sparkle. I think that might make a fun card as well. I may have to do, in fact, I think I do have another Painted Garden layout picked out in my book, my 101 sketchbook that I wanted to do. So I may have to pull out more of these for the card because I think these would make a really fabulous card. Definitely. But I think for now, that's it for sketch number 1. I will be back pretty quickly with sketch number 2 here. And I hope you all enjoyed my interpretation of sketch number 1 using our Painted Garden collection. If you want this paper pack, if you don't already have it, I suggest you run, don't walk to the Creative Memories website. It is linked in the description box with this video. I think it just went on last chance. So if you like it, now's the time to grab it. Until next time.